This is Tom Blair with Inside Colorado Wrestling. We're down here at the Black Fox Wrestling Academy with the owner, operator, and head coach, Luke Morris. How's it going?
Pretty good.
We're going around and interviewing the academies or clubs around the state that have standalone facilities. So let's tell a little background of your wrestling and how Black Fox came to be.
So I grew up wrestling in Colorado, wrestled at Woodland Park, went to Western State for a year. College just really wasn't my thing, and got into doing woodworking, and my son got of age, and I started helping out at Sons of Thunder Academy at Ponderosa High School, and it just kind of took off from there. So over the last 2 years, I've made a name change from SOT Academy to Black Fox Wrestling Academy. So.
Who else do you have on your staff for coaches?
Really, it's just me, but Jerian Beats helps out in the off season. Not really a coach per se, but he's around. He's got kids in the room, and then I've also got Alex Joseph, who has been helping for about a year and a half now. Moved back from Indiana, and it's been nice having them both around this year.
What are some of the events that you attend throughout the year?
Oh man, we kind of go all over the place. Starting at Super 32, preseason nationals. Really kind of anywhere we can go and fit in. We're always looking for kind of the best competition, looking to prepare these kids for the next level, wrestling under big lights and wrestling, top matches. So.
Do you take both individual tournaments and dual tournaments?
Historically, we haven't really done a ton of dual tournaments. When it comes to duels, I always kind of just want to take my club kids, right? Like I want to get them the experience. I want to get them on the mat. So it's kind of off and on. I'll do some dual tournaments for a couple years, but it's only when I have enough kids to fill the team, when I'm not really having to go out and search for 10 weights, right? Where I'm only having to search for 4 or 5 weights. So.
Yeah, I know how that goes. Running Team Vision Quest, I was looking for kids that want to test their skills at other events outside the state.
Yeah.
So you got involved in wrestling with SOT,
Yep.
and then so you said you had a name change. Why the name change?
I just felt like it was time. I was kind of going out on my own, and just thought it was time to do it. So kind of came up with Black Fox. Had a Black Fox running around the neighborhood, and it just kind of stuck with me. And we made the change. We went to Wild Duels the year that COVID hit, and that was the first tournament that we came out with Black Fox, and from then it's been that since. So.
Right. What are some of your goals or expectations for the club, and how are you going to build it more?
Just keep kind of doing what I'm doing, right? The proof is in the pudding, right? I mean, over the years with running SOT and this, Black Fox had its first world team member in Otto Black this year, but that's also just kind of a line of what we've had over the years, right? I mean, even though we made the name change, a lot of the old kids are still around. I want to be one of the top clubs in the nation, but it's more than just that. It's just always giving kids a place to go and work and get them to understand that wrestling is just about improving in all aspects of life, right? And we want to have fun and kind of. So.
Do you think some of the other clubs in the state are making or challenging your club to become better?
Oh, for sure. I mean, when we started with SOT, we kind of came in and dominated for years, and over the years, the last few years, you know, Bear Cave has become really strong. Pomona's always kind of been a top club, and then it's good seeing other clubs around the state of Colorado. I think um, Colorado's never been it hasn't really been a club community, right? People were always kind of stuck with high school, and that's fine and dandy when you're surrounded by other great athletes. But Colorado, it's kind of spread out, and you have your top dogs in high school, but then you have a lot of kids that are outliers. I was one of those. I grew up in Woodland Park. I was the only kid that wrestled year round, and I had to go find other places to get better. So, you know, back east, and they're heavy into club. You know, they have their tough high school teams, but as soon as high school is done, they're moving on into club, and everybody's just getting better, right? So.
Gives kids more year-round flexibility, and also during the high school season, running other practices. As Ben from Bear Cave was stating that you know, some of the schools don't have, you know, tough kids in one school, and like you said, they're spread out. So having clubs also gives them the opportunity to get the tougher competition to make them better.
Yep, for sure.
Well, I appreciate your time. Letting me come down here. I know you ran a clinic here. Are more clinics coming up for you?
Yeah, I plan on trying to do a couple in August, September. Looking at a little bit bigger one in September, but looking to have Chance Marsteller come out and maybe JoJo Smith. Trying to kind of figure out how this next year is going to work now that we're starting to kind of open up, and trying to keep getting more kids in and letting people know that we're down here.
What size is your wrestling practice room?
We have about a mat and a half. It gets pretty thick once you start getting the bigger bodies. So all this year we kind of ran 2 practices, a 4 o'clock and a 6 o'clock practice. You know, kind of keeping it as middle school was running early, and then the high school group was running late. But that was also a little bit more of COVID kind of hitting. And then once we started the freestyle and Greco season, we still had an early practice and a late practice. But as the springs kind of went on, we've kind of merged everything together. And everybody's been coming in at kind of the same times and getting better. So.
Not only doing the club here for Black Fox, you've also been helping out with Colorado USA Wrestling. Now, are you the cadet or schoolboy?
Well, as of right now, I'm still the vice chair, but I'm making the transition back to cadet and junior director. I did that for 4 years, starting back in 2013. Did it for 4 or 5 years, and in the last few years, I've been just on the board and kind of helping out behind the scenes. But I'm stepping back up and taking more of a role this year, and a little bit stressful this time of year, trying to make sure that we're getting all the kids in and making sure everybody knows what's going on. So.
And you got the Fargo coming up this coming week?
Yep. So we have, I think this is, right now we have 105 kids on the roster. I don't think we're going to hit that. I haven't heard from about 10, 15 kids, so I don't know 100% if they're in. But man, these damn flies. But that's the most that Colorado's ever taken. I know the last year that I was with, that I was a cadet and junior director, I think we had 100 kids on the roster, and we only ended up taking 85. But
Is that including the girls' teams?
No, that was just the boys.
Okay.
I know the girls are taking more than they have in the past. So it's kind of odd in the COVID year that we've, USA allotted six kids per weight, which they normally don't do. It's only 4 kids. And I think there was just more people that were looking for more options this year. So it opened up the door to a few more, and I think it's just going to lead us back to where we need to be as a state. So, I do take great pride in seeing Colorado do well as a whole, right? I love seeing, I don't care if they're from my club, of course, it always is better for me, but at the end of the day, if we're putting Colorado kids on the podium at the toughest tournaments, and I believe Fargo is the toughest tournament in the country for high school kids. If we're putting kids on the podium there, I mean, it's only going to get more looks for colleges and people to be looking at the state of Colorado. So,
Yeah, everybody should be working together and create a unity Colorado. I appreciate what you're doing here with your facility here, which is in Franktown, which is just east of Castle Rock and south of Ponderosa. How do people get a hold of you?
They can go to my website at blackfoxwrestlingacademy.com, and then also they can find me on Facebook. That's where mostly all my updates kind of happen. We're just in the beginning stages of getting the website where it's kind of user friendly and getting it up and running. So, but all my contact info is on Facebook. And if they just keep following on that, they'll find camps and days to practice. My room's always open for anybody to drop in as long as we're having practice. So the more the merrier.
Well, again, appreciate what you do here for the sport of wrestling in Colorado. Good luck with the kids going up to Fargo. Also, good luck with Black Fox Wrestling Academy.
Yep. Thanks, Tom.